Today, we measure the world's wealthiest by their bank balances. We look at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or historical titans like Mansa Musa. But if you place them all on one side of a scale and just one man on the other, the scale would tip instantly. That man is King Solomon, also known as Prophet Solomon. Though he is known by different names across cultures and scriptures, he represents one universal truth: wealth and wisdom beyond human imagination. He was the ultimate royal sage, the perfect fusion of a brilliant strategist and a powerful monarch. He is a figure uniquely revered by Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike, a personality without parallel in history. But he wasn't just a religious figure. He was the greatest strategic mastermind the world has ever seen. More than just a king who built a throne of gold, he was a man who mastered the laws of nature and the complexities of human psychology. Today, Neutrix Vision uncovers the secrets of a power that has remained shrouded in mystery for centuries. It is said that in Solomon's kingdom, silver was as common and worthless as the stones on the street. Every year, tons of gold flowed into his treasury. But how did one man attain such absolute power? Was it merely divine luck, or the most precise execution of a grand plan the world has ever witnessed? To find the answer, we must step before that golden throne in ancient Jerusalem. Prepare yourself. The most enigmatic and wealthiest chapter of history begins now. When King Solomon, or Prophet Solomon, ascended to the throne after King David, his youth was met with a massive question mark. How would he lead this sprawling empire left by his father? It was under the weight of this immense responsibility that the most defining moment of his life occurred. In a profound moment of connection with his Creator, a grand promise was placed before him. What do you desire? Ask, and it shall be given to you. It was an ultimate choice that would alter the course of history. An average ruler in such a position might have asked for a long life, the destruction of his enemies, or boundless riches, but Prophet Solomon asked for only one thing: grant me the discernment and wisdom to lead these people rightly. He realized that the greatest power wasn't raw force, but the mental strategy to analyze things deeply. It was a realization that knowing how to use power is greater than power itself, a decision that stands as the greatest strategic move in history. This single choice transformed Solomon from just another king into a global legend. Along with the supernatural wisdom he requested, the wealth and fame he didn't ask for followed him in unparalleled measure. Solomon's wisdom wasn't just from books. It was the ability to read the secrets of nature and the depths of the human heart. He proved that if you possess the software of wisdom, you can control the entire world. King Solomon's treasury was just as breathtaking as his wisdom. Historical records suggest that every year he received approximately 666 talents of gold, which by today's standards is over 25 tons of gold flowing into his palace alone. This wasn't just tax money, it was wealth brought by merchant ships from mysterious far-off lands like Ophir. Gold wasn't just a luxury in Jerusalem, it became a common building material used to overlay the very walls of his structures. There is a famous historical phrase about the prosperity of Solomon's reign. He made silver as common as stones in Jerusalem. In other words, silver wasn't even considered a precious metal because of the sheer abundance of gold. His throne, carved from ivory, was completely overlaid with the purest gold, guarded by 6 magnificent golden lions. Imagine this sight, a display of power and wealth that served as an unparalleled statement to the world. How did one man attain such wealth? That's where Solomon, the strategist, came into play. He built a powerful fleet of ships in the Red Sea and the Mediterranean. All major global trade routes passed through Jerusalem. He controlled the international markets for horses, spices, precious gems, and exotic timber. In short, he built the world's first true global business empire, managing logistics and trade like a modern-day CEO. King Solomon's wisdom wasn't just abstract, it was practical and, at times, miraculous. The most famous testament to this is a case that has echoed through history. Two women arrived at his court with a single infant, both claiming to be the child's true mother. There were no witnesses, no DNA tests, and no physical evidence. It was an impossible dilemma that the world watched with bated breath, waiting to see how Solomon would judge the unsolvable. The king's command stunned the entire court. "Bring me a sword and cut the child in two. Give half to each woman." A deathly silence fell over the room. But immediately, one woman cried out in agony, "No, my lord, give her the child, do not kill him." The other woman, however, agreed to the cold division. It was here that Solomon's psychological trap succeeded. He knew that true love would always sacrifice its own rights to save a life. Solomon instantly ordered the child to be given to the first woman, the real mother. This judgment was more than just solving a dispute. It was a global validation of his profound insight. To his subjects, he was no longer just a ruler. He was a master psychologist. This event proved that Solomon's power wasn't built on fear, but on a deep, unshakable respect for his uncanny ability to see through the human mask. Solomon leveraged the global reputation he gained through wisdom to launch massive infrastructure projects. The centerpiece was the Great Temple in Jerusalem, not just a place of worship, but a marvel of engineering and diplomacy. By forming a strategic partnership with King Hiram of Tyre, he secured the finest cedars of Lebanon and tons of gold. He was a master business leader who knew exactly how to source elite resources and deploy them with precision. The execution of these projects was legendary. History records that during the construction, no sound of iron tools or hammers was heard at the site. The stones were pre-cut to exact specifications at the quarries and brought in to fit perfectly. As a master project manager, Solomon coordinated hundreds of thousands of workers and specialists over years of silent, disciplined labor. With gold-overlaid walls and intricate artistry, he pushed his empire to the pinnacle of global excellence. It was through these structures that the world recognized Solomon as a true visionary. As people traveled from distant lands to witness these wonders, Jerusalem became the cultural and economic capital of the world. He proved that greatness isn't just achieved through war, but through visionary development and the creation of a global brand. One of history's most enduring legacies was being built, one perfectly cut stone at a time. As news of Solomon's wisdom crossed oceans, Jerusalem became a global magnet for the elite. The most notable visit came from the powerful Queen of Sheba, known in the Quran as Bilqis. Her journey from South Arabia wasn't just a friendly visit, it was the world's greatest intellectual audit. An exceptionally brilliant leader herself, the Queen arrived with a series of riddles and difficult tests to see if the legends of Solomon's wisdom were fact or fiction. But before the Queen even arrived, Solomon performed a miracle to demonstrate the scale of his power. He ordered the transport of her magnificent throne from hundreds of miles away to his palace in the blink of an eye. When the Queen saw her own throne waiting for her in Jerusalem, she was stunned. She realized she wasn't just facing a king, but a master of supernatural intellect who could command space and time itself. These diplomatic ties elevated Solomon's empire to a new economic tier. He managed to become the world's dominant power without fighting a single war, simply by utilizing soft power. The Queen admitted that Solomon's wisdom wasn't just talk, it was evident in every corner of his kingdom. By turning Jerusalem into the hub of the ancient trade network, he created a legacy that the world still discusses today. The reign of Prophet Solomon was a golden chapter in human history, a time when gold flowed like common metal through the streets of Jerusalem. Yet beyond this material wealth, his greatest gift to the world remains his wisdom. Having authored thousands of proverbs and songs, his knowledge spanned from the smallest plants to the vast animal kingdom. He was more than a monarch. He remains a global teacher and a guide for humanity. In the sunset of his life, he reminded the world of one truth, that beyond physical achievements, it is spiritual depth and discernment that make a human being complete. Even his passing was shrouded in mystery. As he breathed his last while leaning on his staff, his workers and armies continued their duties, believing he was still watching over them. This story serves as a profound lesson on the weight of responsibility and the fleeting nature of power. It is on this foundation that history marks him as the ultimate strategist. To explore more such deep strategies and life lessons from history, subscribe to Neutrix Vision. What is the greatest lesson you have taken from the life of King Solomon? Which historical figure or event would you like us to deep dive into next? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Our journey into the secrets of history continues.